several other men until a gym employee stepped in to actually stop the attack. And the victim was left with a fractured face, a concussion, and other injuries. And here's where the part that I've always
wasn't wrong for just keep continuing to like jump the shit out of him. But like this nigga really wanted to confront him.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
What up, it's Maje back here in another video, and we're about to be react to a video by Atozi, and the video is gonna be on TikTok. Alpha male just admitted he destroyed his life. Shit, I don't know what I can get from this video. What would it be about? Scams, the typical thing that's like surrounded by alpha males, fakeness, living some sort of secret life, or I mean, it looks like a mugshot. So he did something illegal basically, or got caught for something illegally. But I'm gonna just get into it because I'm just going into the blind reaction with this, and I'm just gonna be as surprised as you guys probably are. Leave a like, subscribe on the videos if you've been enjoying these type of videos, and let's get into it.
This self-proclaimed alpha male fitness influencer spent months claiming that this viral gym beating was just self-defense, but now he's pleaded guilty, and that's just one of the criminal cases he's currently facing.
Convicted felon Wesley Watson, known online as Wes, promotes himself as a motivational speaker and fitness influencer. Now he has another conviction on his record.
You would be adjudicated guilty, which is a criminal conviction on your record. You would be sentenced to 21 months state prison with credit for all time served, which would be followed by 7 years of probation.
Yeah, so do you remember when this was supposedly self-defense? Well, about that, if you watched any of my previous videos on Wes Watson, you probably remember this whole gym fight that's been dragging on for over a year at this point. Every update was basically the same story. His lawyers argued self-defense. They argued that the other guy, he came to the gym to confront Wes, and they argued that the victim was actually the aggressor. And look, whether someone, I guess, intentionally goes looking for confrontation, that's one thing. But obviously, there's a completely different way to handle that situation besides, I don't know, taking your weightlifting belt off and turning your gym into a WWE arena. But I guess after months of hearing about self-defense, we finally get a major update because Wes Watson has now pleaded guilty to aggravated battery in connection with that viral gym beating, which is a pretty significant change in the strategy. So
damn, did he just overbeat the guy or something, or did he lie about the guy you know, basically coming to the gym and confronting him? I mean, I wonder what the hell he confronted him about. But I mean, I guess since he's he's pleading to aggravated battery, I guess he either overbeat him or he can't claim this self-defense angle.
Normally, when you actually spend months telling everyone, actually, guys, I was just defending myself. This was self-defense. The next step is, you know, normally proving that in court, not walking in and saying, well, actually, never mind. I plead guilty. So that's an interesting change in stance. But also, to be clear, his attorney is still arguing the man deliberately traveled from New Jersey to confront Wes because of his online fame. But we'll get into all that in a minute because it's still an important part of the story. But regardless of how the confrontation started, this case is no longer headed towards a trial over whether Wes committed aggravated battery or not. He actually admitted guilt. And now the fight isn't really about whether he did it, it's about how much prison time he's going to receive. So
fuck, I wonder how, damn, I'm gonna have to just search that up on Google on my own time, but I wonder how much a person will get for like aggravated battery. Is it just at least 5 to 10 years, or if that does that like look too heavy? Because I mean, he basically beat up somebody by not like self-defense on the hands. But I wonder how many years that kind of carries. But I guess we might find out right here if he tells us.
Let's talk about what happened, why this guilty plea matters, and why this might actually be the least of Wes Watson's legal problems right now. Because unfortunately for him, he has way worse problems awaiting now. I don't even know how that's possible. But here's the quick version if you haven't been following the story up until now. So back in December 2024, Wes was actually working out in Elevation Fitness in Miami when another man by the name of Hakeem Ibrahim showed up at the gym specifically to confront him. And according to the defense, Ibrahim had flown from New Jersey because of Wes's online presence and wanted to fight. That's been the backbone of what Wes's legal strategy was from the beginning. And honestly, if somebody books a flight just to argue with an influencer at the gym, that's already one of the dumbest vacation itineraries I've heard of. But hey, here we are. I know.
I'm not gonna lie, that's like the dumbest shit ever. Influencers are not that fucking important, bro. Like, you wasting your time and your money traveling to this guy and going to confront him, if that's if that is what it is. But that's a dumb reason, bro. I couldn't imagine wasting my money to go confront some other influencer for either talking about me online or doing some other crap online about saying some crap about me online. Like I just couldn't imagine doing this shit. This is why you gotta like stay ignoring shit online and they stay with a thick skin, because like I don't know. I'm that's just what I'm just getting from the whole thing right now. He hasn't really explained the thing right now. I just paused.
Oh, a lot of people are going to say, wait, didn't you just do that? Well, that wasn't a vacation. That was just my job. I'll leave it there. But also, I will never get physical with anything. I will just ask people questions. That's about it. Regardless, this confrontation escalated quickly, and investigators say that Ibram set up his phone to record the interaction, approached Wes, and at one point pushed him. Then, according to police, Wes took off his weightlifting belt and repeatedly struck him with it. Authorities also allege that after the victim went to the ground, he was punched and kicked by Wes and several other men until a gym employee stepped in to actually stop the attack. And the victim was left with a fractured face, a concussion, and other injuries. And here's where the part that I've always found very interesting about this case.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So, bro's in the wrong for just keep continuing to like jump the shit out of him. But like this nigga really wanted to confront him. Like, why you set your phone up? So I get why he went with that angle. I get why he went with the angle from first of all. But like he set up his phone, once in the fight. So I guess he really just baited him into a fight, basically. But this nigga got like more charges coming along the way. So, and then he admitted to batter.
Prosecutors believe happened here.
I don't think there was any dispute at the beginning of this that Wes was initially able to use force. The tricky part of this case is, when does that force need to be exercised and stopped? And perhaps at this point, he went a bit too far.
Perhaps? Okay, so after more than a year of this case moving through the courts, Wes has now pleaded guilty to aggravated battery instead of, I guess, taking that argument all the way to trial. And a guilty plea changes the conversation completely. So instead of asking a jury, was the self-defense, you're now standing in court admitting to guilt to aggravated battery and shifting the focus to sentencing. So for months, this case looked like it was heading towards a courtroom battle over who started the fight, whether Wes had the right to defend himself, and whether Florida's self-defense laws applied here. Now, prosecutors and the defense are negotiating over how much time Wes should spend behind bars. And I guess under a proposed plea agreement, prosecutors are recommending a sentence of 21 months in prison, with credit for the time he's currently served. And then on top of that, that's also followed by 7 years of probation and court-ordered mental health treatment. And I will have to admit, after seeing the mental health treatment part, that kind of had me stumped for a second, because what do you mean? Has he been wrong all along? Because remember, he's essentially a mental health coach, and now he needs mental health treatment? So if you've watched...
Oh, this nigga took that angle. He as an influencer, he's a mental health coach to advise all the the strong alpha male men to take take life into their own hands. Oh my god, I swear that's like what all these foods are. They're just like clones of they're just clones of like everybody in like the early 2022s. Yeah, 2022 and 2023. I'm so glad that culture died off, bro. But like, damn, 7 months of probation, not that bad. He's gonna get 21 months in prison, but like he has more charges on his hands. I wonder why he just didn't stop beating the guy, bro. Like you proved your point because the guy came there and confronted you, but then you kind of just like overdid this whole thing by just like keep continuing to go after him.
Like, I don't know, 5 minutes of Wes's content over the past couple of years, his solution to any mental health problem seemingly was wake up earlier, yell louder, and do more burpees. You just got to be accountable of your own life and your own actions. That's essentially what he was beating into people. Clearly, he was also physically beating people. So overall, as a mental health coach and alpha male mentor, skill issue. But also, before anyone thinks, okay, 21 months in prison and thinks, okay, well, that's the sentence. It's not really that simple because the plea agreement includes recommendations from the prosecutors, but Wes isn't actually scheduled to be sentenced until later this month. So his attorneys are reportedly planning to continue meeting with the prosecutors in an effort to get an even shorter prison sentence before that hearing, which I have to admire the confidence because you're already looking at a deal that includes credit for the time you've spent in jail. And the response is basically, hey, can we make that prison sentence a little bit shorter, please? Like, I get it. Why not swing for the fences? But also, it's not like he's not facing any other criminal problems, because while this case is getting a little bit closer to the finish line, Wes still has another criminal case pending in Broward County, and that's the one involving the allegations of domestic violence, and along with charges including felony battery, aggravated assault, and witness tampering. And those charges are still pending, and Wes has pleaded not guilty in that case. So even if this plea agreement...
Damn, that's crazy. You a motivational coach and you have domestic violence on your hands. I mean, he's one of those alpha male creators. So the alpha male creators always have like something like crazy under their belt that they do. They either like don't live the lifestyle that they do, or just have something horrendous in the background. So domestic violence charges, or one of them for him,
goes exactly the way his attorneys hope, this isn't the end of his legal problems. This is kind of like checking one thing off of that to-do list, a very long to-do list. And a couple of years ago, this guy's entire brand, again, was built around telling people that he has completely turned around his life after prison. All he had to do was have a little bit of mental discipline, and he was taking these extremely expensive coaching programs and sitting on calls and also pawning off these calls, allegedly, to essentially sell people on the fact that he has the secret sauce to fixing your life and making $1 bazillion. Clearly it doesn't, and it seems like he was a grifter all along. Who would have thought? So now we're sitting here talking about multiple,
and I do not like, I do not have sympathy for people that fell for this, bro. I know people need guidance in their lives, but like you know, after like all these cases of just like, bro, all it takes is like a few researchers probably with AI and saying like, well, is this guy, is these certain topics related to this or like really fake? Because if you search up like probably like people in this field, like the alpha male creators or like life coaches and stuff, you could probably like, especially in the influencer like area, bro, you can just like search it up and like, is it like a scam or something like that? And it'll probably come back to you and say a lot of stuff has became a scam in this area, because a lot of YouTubers and a lot of like influencers have made that like the norm, and it just looks so terrible.
felony cases at the same time, and that's really not exactly that comeback story he was really selling. But there's also another side of the story that's a little bit easy to lose sight of when we spend so much time talking about court dates and plea agreements. So there's still a victim at the center of all this. So according to his attorneys, Hakeem Ibrahim suffered multiple facial fractures, injuries to his teeth and jaw, and a concussion during the attack. So following a guilty plea, attorneys representing Ibrahim released a statement calling it an important step towards accountability. They also made it clear that they're not finished, because even though the criminal case is moving forward towards sentencing, the civil lawsuit against Wesley Watson is still moving forward, and those two are completely different things. So the criminal case is about whether the state believes a crime was committed and what punishment should follow. And the civil case is about whether the victim is entitled to financial compensation for what happened.
The victim filed a civil lawsuit seeking $50,000 in damages against the gym and Watson. Today, Watson's civil attorney says this case should be dismissed.
So his guilty plea doesn't just affect what happens on July 17th. It could also become an important part on the civil case that's still working its way through the courts. And honestly, that's just another reason why guilty plea surprised me, because obviously for months, this conversation was about proving this was self-defense. Like, you don't usually spend over a year saying, just wait until everyone hears my side, and then end the case with, well, actually, I plead guilty. Something's just not adding up here.
Yeah, that kind of really doesn't add up either, bro. And then like, I wouldn't go with the civil suit against the gym. I know that gym probably got so much fucking money. I'll probably go with if you go with the civil suit against, like, you know, I guess that guy, you're not gonna be receiving no type of money. I guess I can kind of sympathize why he kind of went for the gym too, because it happened in there, and also gym probably has money, and but they have money and they have lawyers.
I guess he's just out of options, honestly. That's probably what's going on. Like, there are plenty of reasons why defendants accept plea deals, and I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly why Wes decided to do this. And obviously, there's that other case, the one tied to the alleged domestic violence incident involving his girlfriend. So according to investigators, she suffered also visible injuries, including bruising, cuts, and an alleged assault inside of the home. So the two cases don't really prove a good track record for him. But police also allege that she was physically restrained, dragged by her hair, struck multiple times, and prevented from leaving the residence. So I mean, again, if all of this is true, the dude is a monster. So even after this guilty plea, his legal troubles are way far from over. In fact, the Broward County case could end up being a way bigger case. But for now, all eyes, I guess, are on the sentencing hearing. So if a judge accepts the recommended deal, again, Wes is expected to receive 21 months in prison, with credit for time he's already served, followed by 7 years of probation and a court-ordered mental health treatment. But again, shout out to John Bravo for breaking this and being an extremely good source to the whole story. And it'll definitely...
Yeah, bro. I can't see that this guy's essentially screwed. I was about to say he might get off kind of a little scot-free, you know, kind of in that, like in this case. But when he said he has more cases pending, and me learning about what he has pending, domestic violence cases are no fucking joke. They will put you behind bars, very so well deserved, for years. And I hope this nigga get years if that's actually, if this is actually proven in the court and it's actually true, because I haven't really checked out this case. But I hope he gets prison time for this if that's kind of proven, because like from the sound of it, that sounds fucking terrible, bro. Like I said, these type of influencers are always monsters, bro. These fools are always type of monsters. They never like preach what they do. They never like do what they preach, basically. And that's like obvious now, ever since like a lot of this shit's getting exposed, bro. And I'm not really surprised by it. No one's really surprised by it no more, because like people making video essays about all these people that used to be famous and, you know, these type of creators, and it just kind of just it kind of just they kind of just get fumbled. But hey, man, let me know what you guys think of this case below, and go check out Atozi's original video. It'll be linked below. And yeah, I hope this guy gets prison time. But don't forget to leave a like, and we are on the road to 800 subscribers. Don't forget to leave a sub if you like the video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?